ugly. Well, that was the first word that popped into my mind when I saw this front end, but I have to admit, it is starting to grow on me. So whether or not you're a fan of the look of the new Kia Sportage, it's very much subjective, but what can't be argued is that it has a sophisticated interior and an impressive list of standard features. This is the entry-level Kia Sportage, the Si, and it's actually one of the most affordable mid-sized SUVs. Interested in finding out more? I thought so. The Sportage is up against the likes of the Mazda CX-5, the Hyundai Tucson, the Toyota RAV4 and the Nissan X-Trail. And of those, if you're looking for a two-wheel drive petrol automatic base model, then this is not only the cheapest option, but it also doesn't feel like an entry-level offering. There are 3 trim levels across the range: this, the Si, the mid-range SLI, and the top-of-the-line Premium. This is the 4th generation Kia Sportage and it certainly looks different to its predecessor. Just look at that design. Those high-set headlights, the lower, wider front grille and the sharply detailed bonnet. It certainly stands out. And while some of you may love it, I'm not actually a fan of the cartoonish look created by these headlights. I prefer the sharper, flatter look of the Optima or the Sorento, or even the rounder, more wide-eyed look of the Rio. Are these a new direction for Kia? We'll have to wait and see. But at any rate, the Sportage remains the same width. It's actually 30 centimetres longer in the wheelbase though, which is great for more interior space. Around the back, the design tells a completely different story. It looks like a totally different car. Along the side here, very sleek, very simple. The back, straight and linear and quite sophisticated, in stark contrast to the curvy look of the front end. I really like the way this car looks from the back and from the side. There's 466 litres of boot space back here too. More than enough to swallow the luggage for a whole entire family, even if you're going away for a week. Loading and unloading has been made easier thanks to an increase of 35mm in the boot opening. The load-in height has been dropped 47mm, which will certainly save a bit of back strain if you're working with heavy items. It is really spacious back here. Just look at the amount of legroom that I've got. And even though this car is the same height as the previous one, Kia have managed to find an extra 16mm of headroom. Now 2 adults are going to be very comfortable back here over longer trips. And I don't think that 3 adults would complain, especially over shorter trips. The middle seat belt, however, comes out of the roof, which could get a little bit annoying after a while. There are rear air vents, a 12-volt USB, 2 cup holders in the armrest, and my favourite bit, the rear seats all recline. And while this is a really comfy way to travel, I think I prefer to jump in the driver's seat. Now this is the base model and sometimes you might hear that and screw your nose up a little bit because you expect it to be basic and you expect it to be lacking those little luxuries. But this is a pleasant surprise. It's got a 7-inch touchscreen with a high-res display and the interface is really clear and simple and it's easy to jump between the menus. In fact, the whole centre stack is laid out logically and again, clear, simple, easy to use. There's a digital speedo, which is a big plus, as well as cruise control. And this steering wheel is leather wrapped and has all the buttons. And when you combine this with that media screen, it makes it feel a lot more upmarket than many of the base model medium SUVs at this price point. There is no Apple Carplay yet. Kia say it is in the pipeline and every new Sportage buyer will get it as part of their service plan when it's available. These seats, they are cloth, but they're not cheap and scratchy. They feel quite nice and it feels like quality material has been used. And it's that sense of quality that you get with everything in this cabin. The Sportage lineup includes 3 engines. There's a 2-litre petrol in the front-wheel drive Si and SLI and a 2.4-litre petrol in the all-wheel drive Premium. There's also a 2-litre diesel that comes with all-wheel drive across all trim levels. And all of them are only available with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Being the Si, this has a 2-litre petrol and it takes it normal unleaded. So no need for premium, which is a big tick when it comes to ongoing fuel costs. It can feel a little underdone at times though and often calls on the gearbox to maintain momentum. When it's climbing hills on country roads at speed, the gearbox does tend to be a little bit fickle and struggles to pick the right ratio and stick with it. Around town, however, it's far more user-friendly and the lower gears make better use of the engine's low torque output. The steering, however, It's nicely weighted all of the time, responsive when you're going around corners at speed, and light enough around town to make parking a breeze. The suspension handles the big bumps really well, but over mid-corner bumps, the rear end can feel a little bit skippy at higher speeds. It also feels a little firmer than some of its rivals over smaller inconsistencies. But overall, it's got a really smooth feeling on the road. I mean, even in this wet weather, it feels grounded and planted and stable. It's actually pretty quiet in here. There's not a lot of road noise. You can hear the engine at times when you get the revs right up. And if you're really, really quiet, you might hear a little bit of wind noise from those rear-positioned rear-view mirrors when you're going at higher speeds. Now, fuel consumption is a claimed 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres, and during our time with the car, we've averaged a little over 9 litres. Kia offers a benchmark 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty with a 7-year cap price servicing plan and 7 years roadside assist. The 2016 Kia Sportage Si is a very impressive package at the entry level of the mid-sized SUV segment. Distinctive styling, a quality feel to the materials, finishes and the equipment, and it's well priced, just undercutting its major competitors. It is let down a little bit by that small engine, particularly on the open road, but if the majority of your time is spent in urban environments, you're not going to notice. It certainly ticks a lot of the boxes for today's buyers.